Welcome, everybody, wherever you are, however you may be listening. This is the Wednesday wrap-up. I got my man Herb with me. How's it going, man?
Man, it is a beautiful morning, as we both have discussed, right?
Cheers.
Drink whatever's keeping you awake this morning.
That's right. Oh, man. So, Deontay Johnson released from the Texans. He was there for 2 games after being released from the Ravens for not wanting to go into a game.
Yeah.
Right? If he finds another team, that'll be his 5th in 13 months.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Does he find another team, or is he done? It feels like you're such a bad apple at this point that teams just aren't going to touch you.
Yeah. Like what locker room says, yes, we can handle that? And what talent is left? Like, what's the last meaningful thing that he did for anybody that makes you say, yeah, let's take another chance?
Oh, you don't think his 22 yards was
I'm gonna say I'm just a little less than impressed. That's what I'm gonna say. You know,
you are getting released from a playoff team.
Yes.
It's like currently in the playoffs.
Yes.
That's minus Diggs and Tank Dell.
Yes.
Right? Like, they need a receiver. And they're like, nah, we're good. Like, man.
We'll make it work is what they're saying.
Right.
After getting released from another, or getting off of another playoff team. Like, what?
Right.
You know, it's not like you're just going from bad to bad. You know, you went from one of the worst teams in the league to a Super Bowl contender, right? And then you go to another playoff team.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then refusing to play. I'm surprised the Texans took it on. That was desperation.
3 playoff teams, actually, because he also played for the Steelers in that span.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm at a loss. Like, talk about self-sabotage.
Yeah. And then, like you said, as much injuries they have, for them to say, I'm not going to keep you around. Like, you're just taking your career as quickly as, because remember in Pittsburgh, we thought of him kind of highly. We thought, okay, this guy might have a, decent little career shaping up here. Now you're looking at it like, if I have a chance to go get him or draft a receiver in the 4th or 5th round and just take a chance, like, don't I take that cheap chance versus somebody who's proven to be unreliable? I mean,
the Texans picked him up because they thought he might be an X factor.
He was.
Right? Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, but they were just like, oh, there's a lot of upside here. There's talent, right? But man, he just can't get his head right.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't get that. What motivates you to not play or to not try? At worst, this season's a wash, right? But you still have a chance to play. Like, I'm out there. I'm doing whatever. Just give me – I'll play some special teams and block just to get a chance. But I think some of these guys just don't see playing, like, as the privilege it is. And they're just like, I'm talented. It'll keep working out. But will it? Like, careers end a lot quicker than some of these guys realize.
So even if you – say you just don't love the sport, right? You're there because you were good at it, talented, whatever. Wouldn't the money part of it motivate you?
Yeah.
Like, I look at it this way. They're like, okay, you know what? We don't have a big role for you. You're going to get 1 target. You're going to get 22 yards. You're going to get, 20% of the snaps. Like, you're not going to be heavily involved.
Right.
And then you're, just cheer on your team and, try and make an impact when you're in there.
Yeah.
If that were me, would I want to play? Sure. Would I be a little frustrated and I'm not playing? Sure. Would I also be looking down at my wallet and being like, hey, I'm going to make like $100K to sit on this bench for 3 hours? Like,
yes.
Let's go.
You might not like paying bills, but not paying bills is even worse. So yeah, I'm just one of those type of people. Like, I would go out there and give it my all. I would voice my frustration on the sideline to whoever. Hey, look, I'm getting open. I'm not getting targets. I think I deserve more playing time. What's going on? But while I'm on the field, like, you're getting everything. We can discuss all that other stuff at some other time when the cameras aren't rolling. Like, hey, man, can we talk Monday morning? Let's go in the office. Let's hash this out.
Yep.
Well, like you said, if I'm paid and you're just getting everything. I don't.
Maybe he's just watched Office Space too many times. He's just like, yeah, I just don't think I'm going to go anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what about bills? Yeah, I didn't like paying those. I'm not going to do that anymore either.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Good. Just tell me how that works out. So.
I mean, it never works out. Especially that second part. The not going to work, that always works itself out because you don't have a job anymore. But but the bills, man, they keep coming.
Yeah. So what is it in 2 years? We're talking about, hey, whatever happened to Deontay Johnson? Like, is that
no? I don't even think you have that. That's one where he did his career in a way that you won't even remember it. Right? Like that'll be what was his name? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, unfortunately for him, that's what it is. And I mean, he did it to himself, so you can't feel too bad about it. But there's a lot of talent there. So he could have had a good career. Yeah.
No, I agree. He had plenty of chances. It's like I said, the organizations he's going to are good organizations, Yeah. Like if you bounced around from what the Titans are right now and the Panthers and you can, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh yeah, the guy never had a shot. But you look at his resume like, oh.
Yeah, you played for teams.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No, his career is 100% that meme of the dude on the bike that shoves a stick in the front spokes.
Yes.
And then it's holding his knee what did you do to me?
It's all the other team's fault.
Right?
All of it? Yes, all of it. Okay.
I mean, and if you're him, right, long term, if you're him, you look back at your career, are you happy with what you did? Do you look back at that and be like, killed it?
Yeah. I stood up for what I believe in. Did you? Yeah, I'm not sure I subscribe to that one. Whatever it is you're following, I'm not following.
Right? Yeah, no, it's I don't know. That one was wild. Happened yesterday, so obviously that had to head it up. But I mean, I don't know. I'm always amazed at the people that go hard on self-sabotage on their own careers, for careers that don't last very long, right? Your average career doesn't get out of their rookie contract.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know why you would try and make it harder for you to stay in the league, but
especially if you're healthy. Most of those careers that you talk about don't get out of there. It's not always talent based. It's that guy just couldn't stay on the field. You're doing fine. There is no major injury with you. There's no excuse.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, it's, I don't know. In a way, it's sad to see those things because you look at that talent and you're just like, man, I feel like you should have friends that are like, dude, shut up.
Yes. Yes. Is nobody calling you going, hey, man, you did what? They cut you. So what are you going to do now? There's no other place to go. So I would be that friend. Yeah.
Welcome to Walmart. Let me shine up my name badge. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. So, Vrabel to the Pats in the worst kept secret ever.
Yes.
They, they interview 3 people, 2 of which have been out of the league for a while. They fulfill their Rooney Rule requirement by doing that.
Did they even call them in, or did they just do it in an email or text message?
Like a Zoom. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. It probably was a Zoom call. Let's be real.
Yes. Do you want me to fly out? No.
Yeah, not really. Not really. I mean, you're not getting the job. You're just obligated.
Yes.
They had Ben Johnson on the list. They never brought him in.
Right.
And I think that was more of everybody has him on the list. I feel like I have to have him on the list.
Right.
But yeah,
if you know who your guy is, just take your guy.
Their list had 4 names. There was only one that was a real candidate.
Right.
And yeah.
I'm glad because I've been up too long, so I feel like I'm down. So if I look like I'm wound up, then I feel much better. Much better. Yeah, it's what is it, a farce? I understand the rules and I understand why you're breaking, but if you have your guy, let's not waste everybody's time. Let's just
Well,
go forward with that and take them.
It makes you wonder how they got around it with Pierce.
Yeah.
Right? Because they didn't interview anybody. So is there a loophole if it's someone on the roster that you can just elevate them and you don't have to go through the motions? Is that part of the thing? Like, I've never actually looked that deep into the rules. So maybe there is something. If they're on the staff, you can elevate them and forego all the other nonsense. Maybe that's how it went. But I don't know. Good for Vrabel, though. Yeah. Right? Vrabel's definitely deserved another shot. Yeah.
Now, when I was exhausted after the show last night. Ran from work, got in 5 minutes before the show went on air. So
funny.
I was, those kind of days. I was exhausted. So the going out will be this weekend.
So speaking of crazy when it comes to shows, right? Like I go through my whole day. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, my busiest days, right? I'm getting ready to jump on with Rec Room Sports, WIT, right? And my machine is like, critical update. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, right? But I'm like, it's cool. I got an hour. It'll be all right. And then it went into this update loop that I was just like, WIT, man, I ain't gonna make it, dude. all I had was the circling dots and the stuck at 27% for like 4 hours. Like it finally finished the update this morning.
Wow.
I'm like, what is happening? So, I mean, I guess at least it was a guest spot and not like a show I was supposed to be running.
Right.
But it was just like, man, I mean, could you have done this in the middle? Actually, I take that back. If it had done it in the middle of the night, this show wouldn't be happening either.
Right. So somebody was getting screwed no matter what happened, basically what you're saying.
No question. Why couldn't it happen on Saturday? On Saturday.
Get you talk to your machine, critical update. Like how critical? Like what are we talking
right. Is it just never going to work again, or what are we doing?
Yes. Can we negotiate?
Yeah.
That's awful.
Since we're chatting about random stuff, are you still using StreamYard, or have you looked at other stuff? Because I talked about it on another show, but they're going from what it was last year at $460 to $827.
Yeah.
They didn't add anything. Like, I could get with
now
it.
They're Netflix.
There was like some really cool stuff, or there's nothing. Like,
yeah. And I bet you they're laying off staff, so they're just like trying to pay some CEO or something a little bit more money. Why don't we just increase prices? Why? What do you mean? Why not? Like that's the whole justification for it.
So my thought on it is it became such a popular platform.
Yep.
That doubling the price, say you lose 40% of your business, you're still getting more money, and you take all the bandwidth off your server farm.
Yeah.
So you don't have to upgrade facilities, hardware, any of that. Like that is what I'm assuming they're doing. But man, like really? Come on, guys.
Yeah. To not make your product any better. But you see it a lot and it doesn't make you feel better in any, like Netflix does it all the time. Hey, guess what? We're just increasing the price. You're not getting any better shows than any other movies. Yeah. We're just increasing the price.
In fact, they're dropping shows.
Yes.
They're like, oh yeah, we don't actually have the rights to that anymore. So that series you were watching, yeah, you can't.
You can't watch it anymore. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you finished it. So it's done.
You're going to do a lot more chilling because there's nothing you want to see on this.
And I think the other thing with StreamYard, man, is there's just so many other options popping up there. As soon as you post that thread, it's like 4 or 5 people are like, here you go. And then in the group chats, hey, here you go. So we're going to find other, measures. And then some of those people on the monthly plan will probably just continue to pay StreamYard and not worry about it. But
well, especially the ones that have like a group of people. And don't get me wrong, like I don't want to switch because it's got my intros and outros, and
that's the biggest thing.
Like all of that will be a huge pain. Then you have to link all your stuff again, especially like, external links to things that aren't my channel, like the Roku channel. Right. So then I have to bother them and be like, hey, I need that contact link again. And so I'm not excited about it by any means. But doubling in price, I feel like on principle, I need to do something else.
Yeah. No, you're right. Especially when you, like you said, the biggest point. How do you double and not give anything extra? You know what I mean?
Yeah. In fact,
Just my simple job that I'm doing. If I'm going to do 4 cameras and I'm like, hey, it's $400, right? I don't all of a sudden go back and go, hey, it's actually going to be $800. And they're like, oh, are we getting more cameras? Nah, same amount of cameras, just 800 now. Like, who's paying for that?
exactly. No, when that is not a month. That is for the year.
800 a month, you better be like.
If that was a month, it better come with a producer.
Yes.
And no, it's 800 a month. I would, I'd have to go back to a normal job because I wouldn't be able to afford to do what I'm doing.
At 400 a month, I'm still like, whoa. So none of that would, I'd be poor over here.
It's 827 for the year. Like in the grand scheme, it doesn't sound too bad. But then when you start getting into, art programs to be able to do, the backdrops and all of that. And then of course, any other types of, like if you subscribe to Next Gen Stats or PFF or, if you pay for, all the little things that help you
do your
forward
job
in the media career, none of them are exceptionally expensive, but altogether, I mean, it adds up quick. I mean, if for my Hawk Talk intro that was playing when you first logged in before the show started, because I was seeing how I want to tweak it for next year. That I did that on some of the Adobe products. Well, I mean, that's $60 a month. Right. So, and then you got Canva and all these different programs. And so, it's not that any one is crazy. Like if I had $800 of overhead to do this for the year, I wouldn't be that mad about it.
Right.
But because you have all these different things, and then this one's just like, hey, we're going to double it. I mean, at least take me to dinner. Like,
watch, you're going to get a DoorDash meal tonight. You're like, I didn't, guys,
man,
you should have. There will be no you should. No, I mean, it's just like, for the parallels, it's like with the streaming services, when you had all of them and it was, they were all like $5 and $6, you didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then like Netflix goes up and Hulu goes up. And like for people who try to enjoy a lot of stuff, they're like, so how much do I watch on Hulu? How much, stuff starts having to get cut out. But you have to look at reducing the biggest one.
Especially now that they have the base and then the commercial free. It's like, shady.
Yes. Well, have you ever tried to watch their stuff on commercials? They're shoving commercials in worse than primetime television now.
Yeah, it's actually a lot like primetime football.
Yeah.
Where you get to see 16 minutes of actual football and the rest of it's ads.
Yes. Which, by the way, is my favorite. Touchdown commercial, kickoff commercial.
Oh,
yeah. I'm like, did we really need 2 commercials sandwiching the kick going and them down, and then fair catching or doing whatever they're doing? That's what we needed 2 more commercials for. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, kudos to Uber Eats, though, because they must be killing it with the amount of NFL ads they have.
I mean, yes. Who set up that budget? Good Lord.
Oh, you're good, Wen. Probably the one that is the most daunting of all the fees or things you got to pay for is as soon as you start really getting into being able to get into stadiums, stuff like that. The insurance for that is like $1,300 to $1,500 a year. It's just like, I mean, how hurt can I get? I'm carrying camera gear.
I know.
Come on, man.
Just tell me that you're robbing me blind.
Right?
Just say it.
I mean, man, that is dry with a cactus is what it is.
Yes.
Anyway, back to sports. Raiders not interested in Deion at all. Not going to bring him in. Interesting. Not super surprising, I guess.
No.
Because of the Brady aspect.
Right.
Like, I think if it was just Mark Davis, he'd be about it, right? Because he likes bad decisions. Like that is his jam, so, but with Brady kind of being the adult in the room, I think that's probably what is shutting that down. I don't think that, Deion would have wanted to go there anyway. There's not a lot of pieces that you're excited about.
No. And he can't do the makeover they did at Colorado. He can't just go to the owner and say, hey, bring in, 50 new people for me and I'm cutting the 50 that are here. You can't. That's just not going to work here. There's a little bit thing called these contracts that we've signed for every, it's just the landscape is totally different. Deion just feels more like a college guy, with the transfer portal, with that kind of ability and how he connects with people. I don't see it translating there. And then, one thing that helped with Colorado was being able to bring in, 2 top 5 people on both sides of the ball, with the Suns and then with Travis Hunter. He doesn't have that either. I mean, he's going into a spot that's torn down that they don't need more eyeballs on them like Colorado did, to help out the budget. Like, it is what it is with the Raiders. I don't see it as somewhere he'd want to fix or be able to fix.
Yeah.
In the way he did Colorado.
The one that makes sense is, if they do it, right, is this right here. McCarthy gets let go. There is a lot of talk about Deion potentially going there. Deion didn't rule it out. So he, if he were to break his contract, it would cost them, I think it was $10 million.
Oof, that's cheap.
So, which, Jerry's good for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as buyouts in college, that's like $10 million is, Texas A&M paid Jimbo, 75 to go away. And I think Auburn's paying a couple coaches 30. So 10? Yeah, I think.
Well, that's because they fired him instead of getting bought out. I bet if an NFL team bought him out, it wouldn't have been, here, eat the 75 mil.
Right, true.
So that basically just absolves them from it. So, but he didn't rule it out. And it sounds like there's an actual possibility there. I don't think the personalities work, but man, can we let that happen? Because
yes. Like, your show is basically taken care of for the whole summer, right? As far as what are we going to talk about? What's going on there? And I don't know if that's me or you, because we're having internet problems here too as well. But I would love to see it happen. The personalities will absolutely not work for sure. Like, they will definitely be fighting the whole time. The press conference, they'll have dueling press conferences. So it'll be like Monday will be Jerry's and Tuesday will be Deion's, and it'll just go back and forth. Like, I am here for it. But as far as like your on-field product, like, it's not going to improve. Like, I don't see Deion being like the Dak whisperer or anything, or getting through the playoffs. But
I mean, so say he's better than McCarthy.
Regular season or playoffs or both?
Sure. say he's a better coach.
Right.
The roster isn't what McCarthy had.
Right.
So you fire McCarthy. You are going into a period of time where you have an incredibly expensive average quarterback.
Right.
Above average quarterback. You have CeeDee Lamb. You haven't signed Micah Parsons. You have a defensive backfield that has been hurt in multiple years, right? So are they still going to have the firepower that they did? No. You're still in major cap trouble.
Yep.
You have all of your own picks, but you don't have any extra picks. Like, how much better can this team even get? So say you bring Deion in, what's he, a 9-win team?
Yeah.
Maybe? Like,
people point to the injuries, but they weren't on a great path before everyone. They rallied a little bit after Dak got hurt to improve the record. The record was already headed south, and they were already losing to good teams before all the injuries and before all that happened.
Well, then you have Jerry coming out and saying, giving Dak a real vote of confidence, being like, yeah, I thought we'd be better with Cooper.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, what?
But, yeah. And then you see with him, I mean, you see what you get with Cooper. If you get a 5-game sample, you'll get some good and bad. And then the longer he's out, the longer he's playing, the worse it gets. I mean, that's how backup quarterbacks go. The longer the book goes on them, the worse it gets for everybody. So, I mean, there's just so many holes. They still desperately need a number 2 wide receiver to take some pressure off of CD. So they're going to chase that forever as well. They think the running game works sometimes. Sometimes it does. It's just so much. And again, it's a situation where you bring in Deion, it's not getting fixed. Like you said, with the way their salary cap and with the guys they're paid, you can't just go grab talent like they did in the past.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because then they also don't try and grab talent that is cheap and available.
Right.
Like if I were Jerry right now and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, pull out my pockets. I've got like 15 cents. I'm like, cool. We don't really have a good running game, but you know who I can get for this 15 cents? Leonard Fournette. He's not on a team.
Right.
Like, you go grab this guy. Dude can still be dynamic. It's going to cost you nothing. And, or just do nothing,
Or get Zeke.
Right? Yeah. No, it's, I don't know. It's very weird. And yes, I would look forward to this nonsense. If it came through, I'd be about it. There's a couple of teams that are just enjoyable when they're dysfunctional. Yes. And the Cowboys are one of them. If they could get Deion and create that nonsense, it'd be great. I want to see Rex Ryan back with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers comes back because, man, that'd be fantastic.
How do you already start to trash talk, huh?
Yeah. And then if we could get with the Browns' second overall pick, have them pick the most ridiculous, shouldn't happen, have them draft Ewers, who's probably a danger guy.
Yeah.
And have them draft him at 2. Yes. A guy that will immediately be hurt.
Yes. And the commissioner read it off. Quinn, you guys sure? Like, this, did I get the right? Okay.
This was the 3rd round, right? Yeah. And it's only because it's the Browns, right? No matter what they do, it's going to be the wrong pick. They're going to add the 41st name to that jersey of failed quarterbacks, some of which had great careers after they left the Browns. But yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. There's a few franchises that are just enjoyable when they're just a dumpster fire.
Yes. That's why Dallas is still America's team. We're going to watch to see the dysfunction. So, yes. Yeah, Deion definitely needs to
have our backpack with marshmallows and graham crackers, and we're like, we're going to the fire. Let's go.
Yep. Whatever you're like, how are we going to get through the summer, man? What material are we going to pull out? So Deion went to Dallas? Oh, we're good. Don't worry. Something will happen before we come back on Wednesday again.
Man. So I don't know if you saw the video. Most people did. The Eagles fan just berating this lady that was a Packers fan. And, the Eagles stepped up after the video came out. They banned the guy for life, which rightfully so. And then they're going to send her a bunch of, Packers gear. I really hope they shove a Eagles shirt in there somewhere, just, cause. But,
right. I'm actually in support of that.
Right. Like, I think that'd be hilarious because they'd be like, oh, look at these things I got. And they'd be like, okay. But I like that the internet banded together. Usually it's kind of a dark place, but in this case, everybody banded together to find this guy. And, so now he's been banned in theory. And, we'll see how much enforcement really happens there. But, certainly for the rest of this year. But
you're going to miss the next one game.
Exactly. And then, so, I mean, it's, hopefully it affects him outside of football as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And it did. He lost his job.
Did he lose it
too as well? Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean,
what I don't get is whenever I go to a game, I want to cheer on my team, right? I could not care less about the other team, the other people around me. If you leave me alone, I'm leaving you alone,
So I enjoy the banter with fans, right?
Mhm.
Like I love sitting with opposing fans, whether it's a home game or an away game, doesn't matter to me. Because I like talking shit back and forth, right? Like
Right.
it's fun. As long as everybody can keep it about the game.
Right.
Like if it's like this guy where he's going after her, it's just like, dude, like what?
I think that's my problem is people make it so personal these days. So like I don't like to really talk about much. It's because of that. It's
Yeah.
the first thing they're, oh well, you know what, that's why you're stupid and ugly. I'm like, I mean, those might be true, but I don't know what they have to do with the game or the guys out there or the player,
Exactly. You're like, well, you're not wrong, but
like yeah, you know what I'm
guys
saying?
are still losing. So I don't know.
Yeah. And that's why I always say it kind of goes back to like nothing that happens with this team is personal to me. Like I love them, and when they lose, yeah, does it hurt a little? Yeah. Is it affecting the rest of my day? No. Like still going to work. You know what I mean?
That's the thing, right? It's like they don't pay me to care enough, right?
Yes.
Like, do I want my team to win? Sure. Am I going to root for another team because my team lost? No. Does my life continue to roll soon as that clock hits triple zeros? Sure does. So,
Yes.
I mean, I get, like, I applaud some of the passion some of these guys have because I just don't have it, I guess. But I don't get the take everything so personally because you're not part of the team.
Right.
I mean, they don't pay you. You're not involved. You pay to go watch them. Yeah. So pump the brakes on the craziness, Yeah. And I mean, if anything, you see a few of these a year and it ruins their life. So like, I feel like some of these people, and it's not like the internet's an isolated thing. Everybody's seen these things. So anybody that's going to a football game probably has the internet in their house. Just gonna go out on a limb here. I feel like you've seen enough of these stories where the internet will find you.
Yes.
And, mess your life up. I don't get, I don't know. I guess I don't get the personal attack. So I'm happy to see that this dude got dunked on because he was being a douche.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree. See, I'm one of those, like, if we do go to a game and you're the other team and I'm talking trash or whatever is happening, when the game is over, if you win, I can shake your hand and go, hey, man, congrats, y'all won, and be fine. Like we're sitting at the Oklahoma game and just sitting there watching them storm the field and we're going out and people are like, I'm like, hey, man, good game. Y'all beat us. It's just, it is what it is at that point. There's just no way that I care enough about any of this to go personally after anybody that's there. Like, and I don't get where that gets you anyway. Like, what was the whole, you're actually missing the game to sit there and yell at some woman, in the middle of the game. Like, wait a minute, I paid to come here and now this is what I'm doing. So no, I don't.
Yeah. Like there's zero upside. Like, did that make you feel like a cool guy or something? Like, I don't understand like what that even gets you. Say that's what you were there for. Like, what? Like, how does that move your experience forward? I don't know.
Now, this is a little different.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah. I got him a shirt that he wore on the show last night. It says fantasy football loser.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that's a little different.
Last place though, right?
No, he didn't come in last place, but between the two of us, I mean, it's a 10-person league. He came in 5th. So he even said that last night. It's not like I was last. I was 5th. I was like, yeah, but look, Raj won the fantasy football league 3 years ago, and he still calls me about that. So,
okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And he does it sneakily too. He'll go, hey man, are you doing all right today? I'm like, yeah, why? What's up? Well, I won that fantasy football league in 2021. And I'm just seeing if you were okay. 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 So yes, did I have random people texting Raj the day after I won saying, hey, are you okay now that your brother won fantasy football? I may or may not have.
That's where you just swing back on him and be like, yeah, that ring is about as old as your Dolphins.
I can't pile on. He's in enough misery with the Dolphins, so I try not to bring them up.
Yeah, they have so much to figure out.
Yes.
I think they're immediately regretting that Tua contract.
Yeah.
I mean,
but we said that at the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We said that at the time. And even Raj was kind of like, I mean, does the offense go when he's out there? Yes. Is he worth that money without having won anything? That was a tough one.
So, I mean, I don't think outside of Goff, I don't think any of the $50 million quarterbacks have earned their money. Because, I mean, you're looking at Jordan Love.
Yep, one playoff win,
right? And really, like 10 or 12 good games regular season.
Right. But like, look at this season, lost all the good teams, right?
No, exactly. Yeah. You got Lawrence, hasn't done anything.
Yeah, one win.
You got
thanks to an epic collapse. Yes. So.
Let's see. You got Tua, of course.
Right.
One good season, right? Largely hurt the rest of his career. So, I mean, that doesn't inspire confidence. Dak, also, one playoff win.
Right.
He's a $60 million guy.
Yep. And surprisingly, a second place finish, in MVP voting, and nothing to show for it postseason.
Yeah, it's a good thing it's a regular season award.
Yeah, basically.
I think the only guy that's really performing at that level was Burrow. And although he's not winning, that's not his fault.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if his team had a 13-win season, he wins the MVP.
Yeah.
But because he's on a losing team, they miss the playoffs. He's not really in that conversation.
Yeah.
But,
and not even just a historically bad defense. Like, the offense never let them down. There might be one or two games for the whole year, like the first game, where you're like, okay, you guys were terrible. And then they're like, hey, we got to 30, and the defense goes, it's not going to be enough. Like, But how do you get like a triple crown winner at wide receiver and the possible MVP at quarterback and can't win games? Yeah, that's not on him. So.
I mean, if you're putting up 30 points a game and you can't get a winning record, fire the entire defense. Staff and all. Like, just wipe it off the map, because they didn't show up anyway. Like,
and just know that at least one or two of those guys is going to be holding out or asking for a raise sometime this offseason.
Yep.
On that defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To your original point, we said this when the salary started escalating. I was like, these guys are getting paid for zero production. That was crazy the way that happened with him and Love and Lawrence kind of all around the same time. I was like, so we got 2 playoff wins and $50 million apiece. It's okay. That's an entry. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it pays off.
Exactly.
And guess what? It hasn't.
It's interesting that the contracts for quarterbacks, it hasn't done it for anybody else yet, but for quarterbacks, what you doing, dog? For quarterbacks, it's almost starting to look more like the NBA, where you're getting paid off of promise, right? Yeah. And that is a bad way to go, because you're starting to see exactly what we're saying, where the quarterbacks aren't fulfilling that, projected win. And everybody else, they got to prove it and then get their money. But like some of these, like Love, he gets his contract. He had 7 good games.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't say give me a ton. Or I mean, even take a step further is Daniel Jones, right? He had 1 good season.
Wait, hold on.
Largely,
I want to make sure the Giants fan isn't around,
hey,
so we don't get in trouble.
Why does it smell like my house is on fire?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it's when you look at that one, he had 1 good season, and mostly because Saquon had an amazing year and took all the pressure off it.
Yep.
They give him $40 million. They not only do they gamble on the wrong guy, he's not even on their roster.
Yes.
So
I mean, you're looking, man, with like the top 10 of quarterbacks. I mean, you started top 5, only one of them even made the made the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he's already out. You start expanding, you get to Jared Goff, which is fine. Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen. It's just like.
So, obviously, Lamar, he's accomplished. He's been able to do things. Postseason record hasn't been great, but a lot of the postseason failure has been on coaching, right? Like they try and outsmart themselves. He kind of, over the last few years, John Harbaugh really kind of has subscribed to that Kyle Shanahan, let me outcoach myself instead of stick with what works.
Yep.
So I can't really fault Lamar so much on that. Jared Goff obviously earning his money, Matt Stafford clearly earning his money. So, I mean, like there's guys that are doing it. I would say Joe Burrow obviously earning his money. He's just, on a team that can't do anything.
Right.
Josh Allen, clearly. But the rest of those guys that are in that, like, right around 50, 50, 53, 55, right in there, a lot of those guys haven't done anything. No. They just happen to be decent and the media likes them, and that got them a $50 million check. It's just like, I'm not mad at it. Like, sign me up. But but they haven't done anything on the field that makes me think, oh, you're that guy.
Right. There should almost be like a cap of like, hey, do we have a playoff win? The debacle of Harbaugh in last year's AFC. Yes. Yeah. We've talked about it a lot. The fact that they decided, I know we're the number one running team, but let's just not do that anymore.
Six signed runs for running backs.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I didn't understand that. And I think what they lose sometimes is the fact that Lamar can do crazy things is when the other team respects the rush enough to be up on it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, it's a play action. Okay, Lamar is running around. Yeah, because you'd committed so many guys to trying to get after him and get it. So, yeah, the receivers got a little bit more time. They're getting open. They're fine. And he's making spectacular plays. Versus
he's actually a better thrower of the football than – like, everybody's so stuck on when he entered the league. They're like, oh, he's a running back that, it's like he had one of the top completion and QBRs of the year.
Yes.
I mean,
and that's what I mean. When he scrambles now, he's scrambling to still throw. Yes. And he's still finding guys. But they've already sold out on the run, so a lot of guys are pressed up. So, yeah, guys are getting open downfield. It's way different than before. But that doesn't work if they're like, well, guess what? They're not even running, so we're not going to worry about them anymore, Yeah. I know they said they have Derrick Henry, but, up until like this last play, they just weren't feeding him enough. And now it's like they've come in with a different philosophy. Like, okay, look, let's get him his touches.
Well, that's the thing that has irritated me with this Ravens team, because they realistically probably should have only lost 2 games this year. But all the games that they lost, Derrick Henry had 16 or less carries.
Yes, easily.
Why? You have this huge human that's an amazing athlete and he's fast and no one wants to tackle him. And you're just like, yeah, it would be cool if you kept a big portion of that bench warm. Like, I don't understand what they're doing. So I was really
on the guy who's built for a lot of carries, by the way.
Yeah, he's a tank. So, and you have a good offensive line. So it's not like it's going to be the Titans where he was getting hit behind the line, couldn't get going.
Yep.
Like, you have a good offensive line. You open holes.
Yeah. And 2 of your best players are also tight ends, so you've got enough blocking on the field to make this whole thing work.
Yeah, in fact, you even have downfield blocking because of your tight ends. So, I mean, yes, it didn't make any sense. So I was a little bit on the fence. I picked the Ravens to win, but I was like, man, like, which Ravens team is showing up, right? Are we going to use Derrick Henry, or are we just going to be like, oh, we're going to be pass happy and try and lose this game? And then, obviously I hand it to him like 26 times, and shocker, they won.
It's amazing how that works out. And there's my brother. Rod, we've already been talking about you.
Right? I was going to say, it's okay. You didn't want to hear earlier anyway.
Yeah. I'm just going to say the words fantasy and football and loser did not come up, Raj. So you're safe. You're safe, buddy.
Oh, man. So I am headed out to Alabama. That is, I do think that's going to come together.
On purpose?
On purpose. Out to Mobile, Alabama. And, so going to be headed out there for the Senior Bowl. So should be cool. Never been. So here we go.
You sound like you're still trying to psych yourself up for it. Like, okay.
I mean, it's because I know it's a smaller town.
Right.
So granted, I'll be busy the whole time.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, there's going to be downtime. I want to explore. And then like what I was looking at things to do in Mobile, and I'm like, they showed a picture of a fountain. And not like a cool fountain, like a fountain that you'd see in every retirement home park ever.
Yes.
I'm just
Wait
like,
till you get down there and discover that fountain's not even there. They just took a picture of a fountain from somewhere else. And just...
AI image. Yeah, I mean, it was funny because, you know, we're like scrolling through pictures of stuff, and I'm just like, that looks like a little kid's park. And then there's the fountain. And I'm just like, wow, okay. I mean, it's a good thing I'm going to be busy because there's not going to be anything to do anyway.
Yeah. This sums it up right here. Wynn's first suggestion is leave. Hey, if you get a chance, go somewhere else.
Man. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, realistically, I won't have time to really explore. Because the schedule for it is, you know, there's practices that start on Sunday, the 26th, and then the game's on the 1st, and there's practices every single day. So, I mean, and then press conferences and all of that. So, I mean, you're going to be busy the whole time. But like, you know, like after the football stuff, I'm like, oh, you know, maybe there's going to be like things to do, you know, go check out at night. And it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. So now our suggestions are leave or eat. So.
Well, so this I'll need to know because I'm going to need to eat while I'm there, right? So obviously I'm going to lean on people to be like, hey, where are great places for me to eat? Because, well, that'll be about the only other thing I'm doing.
Yeah. We got a friend going down there. JB is going to be down there. So
okay.
Sports Talk with JB. We'll definitely hook you guys up. So
yeah.
He'll be a good resource for sure. So
no, it'll be good to know somebody. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. So, you know, Darnold absolutely falls apart. Yeah. Now, not all of that's on him. That offensive line was atrocious. And
we're in a tight spot here.
So, I don't think it's that, but it could be. Nah, like full on. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but it is funny because the town is you know the size of some of our suburbs here in Seattle. So I mean, it's I'm having a hard time psyching myself up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I say it's Alabama. Things are a little slower here and definitely a lot smaller. But I don't know. This speed suits me. So, like, if we were going the opposite, I was head out to where you are, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm going to just stay in the hotel tonight. I'm good. You're like, oh, there's 20 different things to see. Yeah, I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, that is the West Coast, right? Like, everything's changing all the time. So, it is they have paved roads.
When you mentioned we have a Cracker Barrel, I don't think you're helping.
So, you're actually definitely not. I got the worst poisoning of my life at a Cracker Barrel. Going through Arizona, worst food poisoning ever. So I will not visit Cracker Barrel. In fact, I don't know that I've had a pot pie since I went there a year ago, 2 years ago. So, yeah, hard pass on that. But yeah, no, I'm full on not doing that. The Mobile Leprechaun. I'm loving the comment section.
Yes.
But anyway, so his offensive line absolutely fell apart. So obviously it's not all on Darnold, but at the same time, he started getting happy feet and creating problems, getting sacked 9 times. I feel like the last 2 games cost him $20 million a year.
Yeah.
Like he would have been close to that $50 million range because of the way he was playing, he's probably a $33 million, maybe super incentive based kind of contract.
Right. And I don't think by Minnesota. If I'm Minnesota, I just roll with JJ, I think, for next year. If he's going to be healthy, I say, look, you and I had talked about him before the beginning of the year. We thought this was a chance for him to actually, with the weapons around him and a good team, this would be a better year. Right.
It still keeps him in the league.
Yeah. But at the same time, when you see his performance, because, I'm listening to Vikings podcast, and they're like, you lost to the Rams twice and you lost to the Lions twice. Does it get better, from here? Like next year, can you duplicate all this? Like with Darnold, do you really want to take that chance? So somebody's probably still going to pay him in like the 30 million range, but I just think that's a contract you're going to regret. Like I was happy for him and I was happy to be right on that prediction, but I wouldn't bet to have it duplicated.
Well, and realistically, the way that he lost to the Lions and the Rams twice, because he did the exact same thing earlier in the year, is
in the same order. That was like who? Well, I mean, I guess you can't predict the last one, but that was still crazy.
Yeah. So, it makes me think that his potential targets, because there was a chance that the Vikings weren't going to be able to afford to bring him back, right? So, I think what this does is it takes away a team that's like, hey, he could be our franchise guy.
Right.
And moves him back into he's probably a bridge guy.
Yeah.
And, it's unfortunate because, I mean, he has the tools to be great, but he needs an offensive line. If there was ever a guy that the offensive line drastically changes his play, it's him. Because when his offensive line blocks up, he can absolutely tear you apart. He doesn't even necessarily need tons of time. He just needs to not get hit. As soon as he starts getting hit, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Vikings I was listening to, though, he did put part of it on, coaching as well. He's like, they have no quick game. He's like watching the tale of two teams. There's like the Rams, great quick game. They get the ball out. He's like, the Vikings, everything is just so slow developing and going for home runs. And then, like you said, once a guy starts to get hit, that's just over for him. So, geez. This is I just woke up. I haven't picked out anything, and my wife keeps it freezing in the house outfit. So that's what this is. So
I mean, I think that still pays decent, though.
Yeah, I would take.
I mean,
speaking of which, Raj has been on record 2 or 3 times this week as basically he's entering the transfer portal to get off of our show if anyone throws a check at him. So I'm not.
I didn't realize the transfer portal's extended. I'm in. I'll transfer off my own.
Your own show. Tune in for the Wednesday wrap up, and it's just a blank screen. Like, hey.
You know what? If someone's kicking money my way, I'm in. Let's go.
That is terrible. But if you're paying Darnold to be the bridge now, like it's kind of what you just said there. Most of the teams that are bad and can use a bridge while they're drafting another quarterback don't have great offensive line. So you paying them $30 million to be in this spot again? What are we bridging to? All of a sudden, you're kind of like in a situation where, like, all right, we got to get the new guy in there as soon as possible. So
no, and it was funny because from last night's show, I had somebody pose a question to me: why wouldn't the Raiders go get him? And I was like, why would the Raiders go get him?
Yes,
honestly, because if you are in the market for a bridge quarterback because you're going to draft somebody, right? Why would you go get Darnold? You already have Minshew and O'Connell in the house.
Yeah.
You're obviously not trying to win. You'll have to pay more for Darnold than those other guys.
And you have no weapons.
You have no weapons. They largely have the same kind of experiences. They've moved around the league, not a great deal of success. They have had moments of success, right? So, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Exactly. It just doesn't really make any sense, especially for them. It's like, okay, so you're going to make it harder to get weapons because you're going to get a more expensive bridge guy when you already have 2 bridge guys in there.
Right.
I mean, because it's not like
and O'Connell, they like O'Connell at times. He just can't stay healthy. So,
well, he's inaccurate, right? Like he'll have a day and then he'll fall off. Yeah, I mean, Minshew, right? Like he'll have moments where you're just like, here we go. And then
what did I say at the beginning of the year? I would have traded those guys off all year. I would have played one, then the other, then one, because whenever they try to play more than one game in a row, like it always falls apart. But Minshew can be really good for one game. I would have just kept trading them off every game.
Yeah, I mean, Minshew is at least entertaining to watch. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like neither one of those guys are going to win you a ton of games, especially with nobody around them.
Right. You basically, your tight end is all, which was a great tight end. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But that is it. You had nothing else. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't pay Darnold to the Raiders. Like I said, I would trot those two guys out, and we got another year of being terrible while I bring and I would not stick my quarterback that I drafted out there with that either. Though I'd say, look, man,
no,
you're gonna learn,
yep.
but don't learn from those two guys. Like we'll bring somebody else in for you to talk to.
That's where you go and get Kirk Cousins, right? Because Atlanta's moving off him. They're going to stick with Penix, right? So you can get him for that Russell Wilson type of deal where you're not going to have to pay him much because Atlanta's going to be paying him anyway. And you let him teach. Now, obviously, he doesn't want to do that. That's why he left the Vikings and then, ultimately what happened with Atlanta. But he is that team player that would bring a guy along. So, I mean, that would make sense to me. But Darnold certainly doesn't. And then before we get out of here, Devontae Adams is now saying, Green Bay looks like a good spot. They need a veteran receiver. That also makes me look at it as he doesn't think Rodgers is coming back.
Right.
So
given everything that's happened and how much, power you basically gave him to not make the playoffs, I don't see why you continue down that path. You've got at least a couple decent young pieces. You need to assess, is the defensive falling apart because of the firing of the head coach? Is there something else going on? What can be saved there? And you just need a younger quarterback in, to kind of take this over. I mean, if you're going to be bad, at least be with a guy that you're, kind of grooming for the future, not a guy who's going to, fall apart anymore. I don't see bringing Rodgers back. I don't see paying Devontae Adams a bunch of money to stick around. Like, none of those moves make sense to me for the Jets.
No, I completely agree. Unless Rex Ryan goes, and then
then you're in.
Drama. Let's go.
But that's not from a football standpoint. That's from an entertainment. Like, you want some WWE type stuff going on there. I guess it's
That's just low-hanging fruit for sports shows. You're just like, oh, you know what? It's a slow sports day. Let's just take a look at the Jets for a minute. Oh, yeah, they are on fire. Let's go. Like,
well, what would you do if Rex Ryan went to the Jets and Deion went to Dallas?
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. Could we have Hard Knocks and then the in-season Hard Knocks?
Yes. Oh.
Now, neither would happen because from what I remember hearing, you can't. The first year of a coach can't do Hard Knocks, but it.
They'd be pushing for it.
You'd want it. You'd want to see that, but yeah, no, it's man. I don't know. There's a lot of chaos about to happen this year. I'm for it. All right. Well, that does get us to the top of the hour. If you're here in the Pacific Northwest on Thursday night, you can come out and see our Seattle Seawolves. They are our local rugby team. They've couple-time national champions and was one game away from the championship game last year. This will be your first chance to meet and greet with the coach, meet some of the players. That'll be in Kirkland at the Moss Bay Hall. So come out, check them out. I will be there as well. Let everybody know where they can find you, man.
All right. You can find me and my wonderful brother on Twitter right there at Raj_Herb, Herb Raj podcast on YouTube. And every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, we do a live broadcast.
No. We don't have any real animals. No real animals at all. Right on. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our content to you. And of course, if you are watching on Roku TV, stay tuned for the next hour. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. Take it easy, everybody.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming